Lucas, hi, Jim Delapine here. You've done an incredible job with this, I have to say. You made something that was really quite complicated into something that is working. So I want to give you some additional tips on here. You have everything nicely stacked away in folders, etc., etc. So let me just go in here. I want to give you some other tips here in direction with this. So first of all, I think that your character, I'd like to center the character more. It's too close to the edge. I don't know why he is shifted to the right. So if I click under the character and scroll down to right above the background layer and shift click to select all of these layers, I'm now with the move, so we're going to click and drag the character over, and that includes the shadow. Okay, so I'm going to visually center him. All right. So as I was dragging, I was holding on the shift key. So again, so I'm clicking, dragging, holding on the shift key, so he comes, he constrains to a horizontal shift, and then letting go with my mouse first, and then the shift key. All right. So I'm not worried about the shadow really. I just want everything in here to be kind of visually centered. So if I zoom in, I think that this I'll call it this bunch of R's here. This looks a little gray. It needs a little something. So that's this layer here. So if I create an adjustment layer for levels and instantly make that a clipping mask, so I'll alt click. And now, so I see, so this is the histogram here. So this represents highlights, midtones, and shadows. All right. You want to bring the highlights in, but you don't want it too bright. So what you can do is just maybe adjust the shadows just to darken it up a bit, because it looks, I'm trying to remove that gray look. Okay, so you can, you know, do what you feel looks best, but I'm looking at this and I like what I see here now. All right, so I want to also, just as some advice here, a tip. Notice how you can see the background pixels around this element here. If I all click on the visibility icon, I'm hiding all layers except that. Well, you can't see it because of the background, but that there's a white uh, outline around this. Okay, so that's kind of like an indication of cutting out the white background. So I just want to show you how you can get rid of that. So this under here you could kind of this feels like it's glowing like a light almost. So anyway, let's do this. First of all, you have this as a spawn object. I want to lock the background pixels so the background of this object is protected. So I need to right click on the layer and rasterize the layer. Okay. Now I'm going to click on this lock background pixel area, so that will protect the background area. Okay. And now I'll go into my paintbrush, and then now this is a technique that can be applied elsewhere. You're not really going to get true benefits out of it in this area here, but it will show you how to get rid of that white outer glow. So using the paintbrush tool, I'm going to go into darken mode, okay, instead of normal. All right, I'm going to have I'm going to slightly soften the brush. All right, now what I'm going to do, while I'm in the paintbrush mode, forget about the foreground color. You're going to sample a color that's adjacent to where you want to paint. So I want to paint along this white edge here on one side. All right, so let's say the light source is coming from the right or upper area. You know, the light source is kind of from all over the place, but I just want to show you this technique. So this is protecting the transparent portion. I'm painting with a color that's similar to this. So if I hold down the Alt key, I'm getting the color of where I click. So I'll click right here. So that picked up that color of what that pixel is. Now in darken mode, I'm going to darken these pixels with that color by clicking and shift clicking along here. Okay, so I'm shift clicking so that it picks up that color. It paints along there. It comes in a straight line. Okay, so I'll do that. All right, so that's one way. You're painting, but you're not actually painting. You're darkening those pixels with that color. Okay, and you should change the color to match where you want to paint. So I'll alt click again over here. It's a slightly different color. So I'll shift click here, maybe when I get towards the top, I'll just shy away. All right, so you get that feeling of the glow from underneath. All right, so the same thing over here, for example. I'll alt click right here, or option click if you're on the Mac. I'll come down here and I'll click and shift click, and then come up like that, something like that. All right, so this gets more of an accurate photographic representation of what this should look like with the light source coming from the right. All right, so one last thing I want to point out, or a tip, as to an alternate background, which you might find interesting. I'm not too crazy about how this fades out into this upper binary code background, but let's see here. So where are we here? So this here is this here. That's the shadow, so hide that. And so it's this. Um, this is the background here, right? So keep the shadow. All right, so this here is, where is that? Let's see, I hide the background. That's that. So it's on this layer, unless it's on top. What is going on here? Let me just collapse this, and um, let's see, I have to find that. Why is that not? It's in here. What am I not seeing? What am I not seeing? Okay. So you have this. I see. You doubled. That's very good that you did that. You duplicated this layer to represent to make this more effective. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to work with this background layer to give it some kind of a perspective. So I'm going to shift click to select both of these layers. Actually, I'll just select the top one, and I'm going to hit Control E to merge it down. Why is that not? Let me see. Let me do this, and I want to merge these layers together. Oh, it's a text layer, so that's okay. So here's what I'll do. I'll rasterize. Let's see, I want to combine these two, and Control E is working. It should work. Yes, okay. So there, it worked, and consolidated all those, that texture, the layer style, everything into one. So now you have this all in one layer. So, and it's all text. So that's interesting how you did that. So what I'm going to do now is take this layer here, this binary code, and I'm going to click and drag this up, and I'm going to create a horizon. So you always want to, you don't want to divide it in half. You want to use a 1/3, 2/3 rule approximately. So I'll go right about there. Okay. Then I'm going to duplicate the layer, Control or Command J, and then I'm going to drag this down here, and you know what? I didn't even have to do that. I didn't even have to do that. Let me just let me just let me undo back. Let me go back. Okay, so until I have this all in one layer. All right. So now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my marquee tool, my rectangular marquee tool, and then I'm going to click and drag where I want the horizon. Okay. And then I'm going to hit Control J to copy what's in that selection to the layer above, but I also want to remove it from the layer below. So Control J would simply copy it. Control Shift J would not only copy it, but it would remove it from the underlying layer. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Control T, and then I'm trying to make a decision as to what to do here. Let me just hit enter. I'm going to simply go to Edit, Transform, Perspective. Okay, then from the middle, lower left or right bounding box, I'm going to click and drag out. So you see what's going on here? It's now creating a floor using that binary code. All right, and then I'll hit enter. All right, so that's the end result. So, you can also, I mean, for example, you may want to, so you have this two separate layers, which gives you more control. So now you may want to select this layer. I will go to my use saturation adjustment layer, instantly make that a clipping mask, which actually you don't need to because it's on the bottom layer, but I'll do it anyway. And now you can maybe increase the saturation to kind of give it a glow if you'd like. Or there are a number of things you could do to it to, because it's on its own layer. You could even change the color. I mean, I know you want to keep that to but the green, that that kind of that computer color. But I mean, you could change the color if you like also. But at the very least, increase the saturation so that is even more computer oriented. All right, so I'm going to stop there. Terrific job. I hope that helped. And I see that one thing you did not do, you need to save a selection and rename it as a channel. Okay, so that's simply a matter of all I needed to see was, like, for example, if I control click on any of these layer, well, like the fan. Okay, so I want to create a selection out of that. Now select, save selection, just type in fan and hit OK. And now it's saved as a selection. Okay, so the reason for that is that it's a saved selection for use later on. You may not realize the benefits of that now, but believe me, it will come in handy. All right, take care.